Live. Hey, my people. Hey, my crew. What's going on out here today? It is like snowy village outside today. I don't know what just occurred on the way in, but it definitely occurred. It hit us hard. But thanks so much for joining me today. It is, what time is it? Almost 3 p.m. right now. Appreciate you guys coming on live with me today and tuning in. And this is WRFU. I am at the radio station in Champaign, Urbana. And today we are going live at the studio. We're here. We are definitely here in the building. I appreciate you guys tuning in to me today. It has been a snowy thrust up in here today. Getting up in here pretty quickly, I guess. Andre, you don't see Sharita outside nowhere? We're live right now. And right now, yeah, we're live right now. I need something to put up under here so it can prop itself up a little bit better than what I got going on right now. What's the wheelchair for? Who is the guy that's right there? Well, thanks so much, like I said, for tuning in to me today, guys. I appreciate you. It is almost 3 p.m. right now. And we are live in the studio at WRFU UCIMC. And it is now 2:59. Sharita, if you're outside somewhere, you need to come to this window so you can get in. Is this Marilyn coming on today?
She said she might pop in.
She might pop in. Well.
I mean, she'll be good.
Miss Marilyn might come into the studio with us today. Like I said before, thanks so much for tuning in to me today, guys. It is now almost 3 p.m. And it is 3 p.m. right now. Hello, and thanks so much for tuning in to me today. It is now 3 p.m. and you are on live with Afternoons with Delight. Like I said, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in to me today. I appreciate your patience. Oh my God, it's snowy today. We are not really expecting that. But I'm at the top of the hour each hour, and you know what I do. I say the legal ID. This is WRFU. LP Urbana. Our disclaimer is that WRFU is an open forum for the Urbana Champaign community. Views expressed are those of the speaker and guests, and they are not intended to represent WRFU UCIMC. And you know what I do each top of the hour when I have guests in the studio with me? We do our introductions. So Andre is here.
Andre's here. Andre's always here.
Andre, and there's Leah over in the corner. Leah is over in the corner. I guess she's taking her nap. I guess she's doing her rest, taking her notes, whatever she's doing at this point in time. I don't know what she's doing. But thanks a lot for tuning in to me, guys. I really, like I said, I appreciate you all getting online with me each time that I come on. And today, I don't know, Andre, we got several things to talk about. Yeah. Let's go back over our history of where we came from now. Because we did talk about the election and how everybody's spirits are about the election, right?
Right.
So we moved past that. We moved past the point of everybody knowing that this is now going to be our president. And I don't know, most people are going through a gloomy type state situation, not feeling really good. But then a lot of people are like, oh, we're so happy. Okay, that's great. So we moved past that, right?
Yeah.
So now, Andre,
we're on the nominees for the cabinet, right?
We're on to the nominees for the cabinet, and you've seen so far who has been, who was that? Who did we say that was? McMahon, right?
Linda McMahon.
Mm-hmm. They put up a little skit about her knocking some lady out. I saw that. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
Okay, I'm shocked that you didn't see it. But, yeah, so they put something up regarding her on on, on the radio or what was it, on like TikTok, Facebook, something like that. Anyway, she proceeded to slap a lady, McMahon. I mean, it's WWE, So, I mean, I guess it got a little attention. I guess that's what it was, right? So now, what about Geis? What about him?
Yeah, I guess he just dropped out today.
So he dropped out today.
Yeah, he didn't want his record or allegations being public knowledge, I guess.
He didn't want his allegations to be public knowledge, you guys. That's interesting. This is what we've been seeing a lot of, right?
Yeah.
With Donald Trump. So anyway, we had a lively little discussion before we got present into the studio today. And we're talking about our relationships and different areas of needs and how some people are in relationships, but I don't think they're setting like appropriate boundaries. Would you say that?
Right. Yeah.
In their relationships, right?
Personal boundaries.
Yeah. Like what's acceptable to you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So is it acceptable for like a person you have interest in, you're showing interest in, you want to talk to this person, whatever it is it acceptable for that person to then cook breakfast every day? Right?
Right.
That's acceptable. Right?
Yeah, but what they don't want to cook breakfast. Are you going to be mad about them not cooking breakfast?
Right. Is that something that you're like, you know what, I'm not a breakfast person. I might be a lunch person.
Right.
Or brunch, right?
Or don't want it every day.
So we're talking about relationships and boundaries, right? And so one boundary that, we had a discussion about coming in, which was very interesting. I could say that. Hey, Ayana, one thing that I could talk about is what's okay personally, like with you on choosing your mate, and what would your desires be if that person, or what would your boundary be? Let me say that. If this person expected you to give them some type of pass in order to see another person, right? How would a lot of people feel about that? And would people feel like, no, that's not anything that I could set myself up in seeing me do.
Right.
And like you said earlier about boundaries with people, what?
Well,
they don't set them.
They don't set them. Yeah, they try to please the partner instead of setting the boundary for what they will accept.
Yeah.
Instead of just going with what the partner wants.
Right. Hey, Anna. But I think that's the truth. I think that's the truth. I think we get into a people-pleasing mode where you're like, I want to make them happy, but not me happy. So a lot of women, and I can say that for a woman on this side of the avenue. You can speak for a man on your side of the street, right? A lot of women are now getting into the mode where like that it's almost acceptable for you to invite other people into your life. I was a pastor that got online the other day, and he told his congregation members, hey Malaysia, he told his pastor or the members the other day, don't come to him and talk to him about what's acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Because he was getting a lot of people coming to him from his congregation, and they were like, Pastor, we're in a marriage now. What's acceptable in the bedroom, right? And I don't think a lot of people are really taking that attention and that time getting into it, where they're like, you know what? Maybe I put this out there a little bit too fast. Maybe I green lighted this whole situation before I even really discovered who I was. Because most of the time, even though people say that they're really, I know who I am, I know what I want, blah, blah, right?
Right. They don't know you don't know the cause and effects of
what you want.
Right.
What you want.
Right.
Right. You watched enough Tyler Perry movies to know is what I feel like. You watched enough Tyler Perry movies or all these little love triangle
Right.
movies to
Lifetime
really
movies.
know. Lifetime?
Yeah.
That used to be the show to watch, right? But you find yourself knowing, like, this, no good can come from this. No
Yeah.
good can come from this, Andre.
Once you get the one pass, it's a revolving pass. It's not just a one-time thing.
And see,
And if
that's
it's-
coming from a man,
Yeah,
right?
And if it's not a pass, we won't need your pass no more because you said it was cool. We just ask for forgiveness later.
You won't need the past no more, and you'll ask for forgiveness later. But see, and that's another topic for a lot of women. They don't even know really fully what their expectation is. And I think a lot of times, you'll go into relationships with people and not have a real expectation of the relationship. Right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times they'll go out and they'll be like, you know what? I don't really think I'm getting what I want or what I need, but yet I can't verbalize what I want or what I need. Right. I can't really set that expectation, especially when you're talking about diving into something that's brand new, right?
Yeah, because you don't know the expectation because you've never been through it.
Yeah. Listen, Ayana says so much of people pleasing, you tend to lose and stray away from who you really are or even what you want. That's so true, Ayana. That's so true. And that people pleasing will leave you shattered, battered, bruised in mental health therapy on the psych ward.
Right. Or in jail.
With a charge. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that will leave you left over with a charge. Mm-hmm. And if you guys are wondering, like I tell you all the time, where I'm getting this reading from, Ayana is on Facebook Live with me. So if you are on Facebook, look me up. Bubby's on live. Hey, Bubby. But I'm telling you, that's a big pull for a lot of people not knowing what a healthy boundary is because, we got to go back, though, Andre. Right. We got to go back because where this unhealthy boundary setting started. You know what I'm saying? It started being in your home with mom and dad, or not with mom and dad, or with mom only, because we had that conversation as well. So a lot of people can't really tend to know what does it look like to be in a healthy relationship because we're so used to, listen, a prime example of a great show I grew up watching, Little House on the Prairie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And I grew up watching Little House on the Prairie, so that was my really fictitious expectation for what a relationship looked like. And I'm not joking. So I was like, even though we had mom, we had dad in the house with us, right? I knew that was dysfunctional, okay? Because I can speak on my dysfunction in prime. Hey, this happened to me, right? But I can speak on my dysfunction, but what I can't do is speak on the dysfunction that led me to believe an altered, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like a skewed way of viewing. Like I'm Little House on the Prairie. Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's how you wanted your household to be.
Right. And I'm African American. Now let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
But it wasn't about being white. It was
about the principle.
The principle.
It really was. Yeah. Paul went out there. He did his thing.
Right. Yeah.
Ma, she was in the house cooking. She was clean. They always had food.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They had fun when we went outside.
They did.
Just roll around in there.
I'm trying to tell you, they had the perfect lifestyle. So I'm growing up thinking, and I know we lived in dysfunction because I'm like, I don't ever really. We can talk about this, Andre. This is our healing. They'll never watch this. But we never saw our parents be like intimate, where loving.
I love you. You say I love you to each other.
Andre, never. I never heard them say that unless we was at church and then the pastor would tell.
You just tell your neighbor you love them.
Right. Tell your neighbor you love them. You know what I'm saying? And it was what it was, right? We had that experience.
Right. But it wasn't no candlelight dinners or, flowers.
I ain't never, Andre, in our entire growing up, our dad even buy mom a gift. Yeah. Have you ever seen him buy her a gift?
I don't think so.
Me neither.
I'm the first one bought her like a bracelet.
Yeah. Ayana said it's also being conditioned to a certain way. I mean, and that's the truth of it. You know what I'm saying? So like our concepts of what a whole relationship or what a fulfilling relationship look like or is really based on skewed principles, because really we didn't get it from in the home. We got it from outside sources. So we got it from, us just primarily being what? Watching television.
Yeah, our brothers and sisters.
Yeah, that was not
good either.
That wasn't a good dichotomy.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So Chad, get online and have a conversation with me. But I'm telling you, like, I don't understand even nowadays, like where a lot of people and I know where a lot of kids and stuff get relationship advice from. Of course, it's coming from their peers, and it's coming from rap videos.
Yeah. Well, the only good TV show I've seen in the last 10 years was Blackish.
Really?
Blackish.
Yeah, I could say I did like that. I liked the principal fact that I really liked it for was that the family unit was together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I really could see
that grandma.
Right, but it was not a real reality. I can say that.
It was like maybe like a 2% or black, like upper level.
Yeah.
They didn't have a regular.
Yeah.
But they had problems that kind of.
Yeah, I could see that because that definitely wasn't the normal, you know what I'm saying?
Value.
Chad, we talking about relationships, and where did you get your relationship interpretation? Like where did you get it from, like your conception of how a relationship should actually go and be? And I told the audience that I got it from Little House on the Prairie. And I'm not kidding. I mean, I watched that show every day growing up, you know what I'm saying, as a kid. So when I wanted a family, I thought of Little House. I'm like, just like Paul went and he tended the field and he took care of the house. And, I thought I would be Ma. Literally, I really did. I thought I would just learn how to cook, learn how to clean, take care of children. And then, but like I said, when we go up into the level of really dating, like we're not just talking about, just being out here principal, solo dolo, right? We're talking about going into relationships now, and the conception that people now have about relationships is so skewed that they don't even know how to set healthy boundaries for themselves. So I was just talking earlier, we were talking about how a young lady or a lady will go in and she'll think that something is okay, because she wants to please her mate. Now, there's nothing wrong with you thinking that something is okay to please your mate, but now your boundaries and your morals have really taken
somebody else's
a back seat.
Yeah.
You're
adapting your morals to your partner.
Yeah. So your morals and your principles and beliefs are totally gone because now you want to please your partner, and so much so you will go against everything that you know and or believe to actually go in, you know what I'm saying? But you'll go against anything that you know and or believe in order to please somebody. You know what I'm saying? So we were just talking about right now, how can women set appropriate boundaries when they really don't even know themselves, right? And that was our biggest, hey Shaz, that was like our biggest thing, So we've got another guest in the building today. As soon as you have a seat, I will swing the mic over to you. Sharita, so we having this conversation today. This is Sharita, everybody.
Hello.
So, Sharita, we're talking about, where'd you get your principal beliefs about relationships from? Now, we can talk about our moms and our dads, and me and Andre already went there, right? So, like, where do you think that you got? I told them I got my real beliefs of what a relationship should look like from Little House on the Prairie, Sharita. I'm not laughing. I'm really serious. What show did you watch? You know what I mean? Or what happened in your life that made you think like that's what I want? You know?
So crazy.
Why?
That you said Little House on the Prairie. Because that is exactly my take on that.
Really? I'm telling you,
Yes.
Sharita, like Ma and
This is the way it's supposed to be.
Ma and Pa.
Yes.
Ayana says, hey, Rita.
Hey, how are you?
But seriously,
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, Sharita, so that's like my biggest like conception of what a relationship should be. Like I'm a bake and I'm a cook and my husband's gonna go out there and do his thing, right?
The perfect family.
Right. Even though we're not Caucasian.
But that was still, and you know that's so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because back then we had black and white TVs, y'all. We didn't have color.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Little House of Prairie was the staple
It
television
was.
show.
It really was.
That molded us to believe that this is the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. I agree. Now, what do you think now? Because now we're talking about bringing it on in now, Shrita. Let's bring it on in. Let's bring this one home. Chad, let's see what Chad said. It's amazing how much kids get. It's like the first 7 years mold a child, good or bad. After 7, if there's trauma, that life is affected and hurt from traumatic experience. I agree. Ayana says, I get it, LOL, because with me from the South, this is that way. Yeah. Hi, Lucas. But I'm telling you, honestly.
Yeah. And
So
back then,
anything.
we only had those TVs with the antennas. So as years progressed, okay, Little House of Prairie, we followed that. The next one we followed was, I don't know if anybody remember this. It's a Chicago show called The Awakening.
Shut up, girl, because I just had said something about that. If y'all know about The Awakening, people online, I'm telling you, let me know. Because I'm telling you, I would try to watch that show every time we got out of church.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was on late night.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like 11 o'clock on a Friday night.
That was the one show my mom said, you can't
You
watch
better,
that.
Yeah, but you know what? My mom was always like, you better not. No,
Really?
because of what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like she was living, even though she was a part of the church culture,
Yeah.
her lifestyle was rough, and what she encountered, especially, it was rough. Chad said, I love watching Martin and wanting to marry Gina. Stop it, Chad. Anyway. I don't blame you. But, that was a good show, too. I like that one.
Yeah.
But I was like, but see, we grew up in church. So shacking. Hello? Hello?
Okay.
That was the absolute.
No.
You better not dare think that you're going to shack.
No.
I'm telling you. So that was a lot of our
frowned upon.
experiences. Yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of our experiences, right? Because we were church kids.
Yes.
Now, if we weren't church kids, I think we would have ended up a lot worse. So I'm not going to play with you.
Yes.
I think our saving grace was the fact that we were in church.
That was the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That was our foundation.
And then, we talk about it now because kids, they don't go to church to read it no more.
They don't.
No. We and Andre talked about this being a few weeks back. That was the staple for us. Mm-hmm. But now you don't see any kids even knowing like the what's it called? What prayer is that, Sharita? I can't think of it right now. And I just put it on my Facebook profile page. But it was like a simple prayer that everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? When you go to church and you've been raised in church, you got staple prayers. You know what I'm saying? Asking the Lord lead, protect you. If it had not been for the Lord who's on my side, where would I be? I mean, things that we know. God is good.
All the time.
And all the time.
God is good.
Everybody knows
Absolutely.
that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But when you get into encounters, let's go further, Sharita. We're going to round back to this one. Mm-hmm. So we were talking about setting boundaries with our men. Or men setting boundaries with women. Mm-hmm. Because me and Andre had a conversation on the way in where we were talking about women not being able to set those boundaries because they feel like now I want to please who I'm with. Mm. Instead of being like, not realizing that, what, Andre? you get played to the left
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, you lose all your morals.
Yeah.
And for their morals.
Yeah. You lay them down. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we'll get in relationships with people and think, like I was telling Andre, was like, giving them a pass. We were talking about that, right? You know what I'm saying? So you're in a relationship with somebody and you like married to them, and now you want to give them a pass. And you think, Andre said it, listen, I cried a little bit because he was like, he said, once you get that one pass, Sharita, they ain't going to come back to you and tell you, hey.
Because you already gave the pass.
It's already done. Downhill.
There's no limitations on a pass.
Yes.
Andre just said that before
That's
you got
true.
here.
Yeah.
Literally.
And now you mad for me sleeping with somebody? And you
I got the pass. The
Right.
pass is the pass. So let's take it a little further.
Go ahead.
When you in school and you in the hallway messing around, you get in trouble because you didn't get a what?
Pass.
A pass. So you go back and you get a little smarter. I don't want to get in trouble. You know? So this time, I'm going to go and get a what?
A pass.
So I can go do what? Go in the hallway.
I know, girl. That's deep.
But if there's no consequences for that pass you giving me, then what?
It's okay.
I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. So as women, and me and Ayana had went back and forth talking about that. Oh, they posting. Okay, let's go. Chad. Little House on the Prairie actor was a horrible alcoholic. Yeah, and it was hidden well. We know that, Chad, now that we got older. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? What does church kids or strict parents cause rebels in later life? Out of control youth, adults become the freedom final. No, I wouldn't say that. I think. Do y'all think that?
No.
Like being in church caused you to be a pure rebel?
No.
Is that the knock? Is that the knock on the door? I didn't hear it walk by. Did you see it? Okay, but I don't think that it caused us to be rebels. No?
It causes us to be more conscious.
I don't think it causes us to become rebels, but I do believe that it was a lot of our saving grace which kept us. Oh, Lord, look at who done came through the building. Late. Reverend Terrence, tell the people hello.
Hello,
today.
people.
Hello. Reverend Terrence, you came in at a good time.
Really? I know this was supposed to be my interview time. I apologize. Work ran long.
Really?
And as much as I love you, I love X amount of thousands of dollars.
I'm not going to tell you anything different. I'm not going to tell you not to make your money, sir.
So, for you.
Yeah,
But you got me for the
absolutely.
next 30 minutes. So, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So we were talking about boundaries and relationships, Pastor.
Oh, I believe in those.
And we were talking about young ladies not really developing that skill set or that mindset right now to develop those boundaries with themselves. So because they want to please their mate, right? They have this tendency of wanting to do that. Then they won't set healthy boundaries for themselves where they lay down their morals.
So we're using a lot of dog whistle terms. Somebody asks us to define boundaries, morals, and love.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking y'all. I'm late to the conversation.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So how are we defining, what are we defining as a boundary? And what are we defining as morals? So,
And what's the staple? What built your morals?
right. But I think that's what I'm pushing us on. So when we say boundaries in the relationships, what does that mean? Does it mean men and women can't be friends? Does it mean your mate got to get approval? Because I think a lot of times why we can't fix the problem is because we haven't properly defined the problem.
Okay.
Right. So we use these buzzwords without actually unpacking what it means. So what does it mean to have morals in 2024?
Yeah,
Is it
that's
the
a whole
same-
different concept.
Is it the same morals that we swore we had? We really didn't, y'all, but we swore we had. When we talk about kids being fast, I don't know, man. We had music. NWA literally wrote a song about oral sex.
Yeah.
And we bought it and listening to it. Two Live Crew literally bragged on how they made Freaknik. So
Yeah.
I think that when we talk about them we have to kind of name it, and that's why we can't move this needle. Because the truth is, I don't know if you remember when the Freaknik documentary dropped, and everybody over a certain age started sweating. Because
It was on.
Because were we on that joint, right?
Right.
I was in Fisk University in Nashville, so I didn't make it to Freaknik, but I know a lot of my peoples, man. We were talking, and they were like, man.
Wow.
So when we talk about like Leah, she can hop on YouTube and type in 1994 party and see how we got down.
Mm-hmm.
And then we turn to her and say, your generation ain't got no morals. And when she laughed at us, we swear she been disrespectful.
Right.
So I think that's why I'm pushing us to define this. Like, what do we mean when we say relationship boundaries?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, and it's not me being super nerdy. It's one, are we setting an unrealistic expectation for these kids that we ourselves didn't have?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Gen Xer, man. The only reason I even got a career is because we didn't have smartphones and YouTube
Hello. Say it again. And social media.
and social media.
Hello.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if we had this stuff now,
Right.
what they have,
Right.
and would none of us be, I wouldn't be a pastor now, I wouldn't be employable. They'd be like, are you out your mind? I know for a fact from 20 to 29, I call the decade of decadence. So
Wow.
in my own personal life.
Really.
And so
Yeah.
so what are we asking them? I think that's the question.
Truly. We were going into a little bit of dialogue over one principal thing was the pastor had got online, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this said pastor told his congregation members to not come to him with the narrative on leading into a conversation about what is appropriate in your bedroom, correct?
Okay.
So, of course, we know the staple, the scripture, the bed is undefiled, right? So, he was like basically saying at this point in time, don't come to him asking him anything. And because your appetites have been superseded to a level that what your primary expectation of what you think should be in your bedroom is not satisfactory anymore, right?
I would have to see the clip, but so I think I kind of get what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know if I, like as a pastor, I don't do marriage and family counseling because that's not, you know me, Mika, you know, I believe that's not what I'm trained in.
Right.
So I'm not touching it and I don't do sex therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that is in terms of men, I can't speak for women. Men have been heavily influenced by the porn, video girl, Instagram kind of, especially these younger folks kind of motif. And so I think all men have had that moment when we had our first sexual experience. It wasn't nothing like the tapes that we saw.
Right. Right.
I don't know about you, brother. So
No, I had my first sexual experience without tapes.
no, I'm saying
Before tapes. You know, I'd never seen tapes.
So
I didn't know exactly what I was doing at all.
right, and that's
Right.
I think that's
You know
my
what I'm saying?
point.
And I had to learn how to do that
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like we
one-on-one.
Yeah.
and most men have been
Women can say the same.
fair. I wasn't gonna speak for y'all. So most brothers, and 9 out of 10 brothers, you know, our first kind of introduction is through the world of, especially if you're of a certain age, Playboy porn. Nowadays, these kids got X, you know, they got
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And so this makes them hypersexual.
Yeah.
And so we can't deny that. But on the other side of it is because we don't have them conversations with them, right?
Right.
So nature abhors a vacuum. So they're going to find it somewhere. So if you're not talking to your child about sex and you keep giving them simplistic answers and one-word answers, they're going to go get that.
Or constantly brushing and just constantly brushing that off.
Yeah,
Constantly.
they're gonna get that.
Yeah.
I understand what the pastor's saying. I don't know if you should be talking to your pastor about your sex life like that. Like if you're having trouble in the bedroom, that's a sex therapist. So unless your pastor is a licensed sex therapist, I don't know if I've ever went to one of my spiritual leaders like, hey, I'm struggling.
Right. Of course, we're not talking about the struggle, but we're talking about what's being allowed. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the narrative of this conversation is like, because like Andre was giving this example earlier, he's talking about, you know, you got 86 flavors. You know what I'm saying? And now because I'm married, you want me to narrow it down to 22. And I told you I wanted 22 before we even got into the marriage. And now a lot of women are like, you know what? I'm going to let you go and have your 22. But that still does not mean that you're in a singularly
I got you.
nuclear relationship.
But that goes back to you got to have marital counseling. You got to go to premarital counseling. So as a pastor, I'm sending y'all to premarital counseling.
Right.
I'm sending y'all to premarital counseling under the areas of spirituality,
Right.
politics, sex, economics, and family dynamics. Because those are the things that derail
Right.
a relationship.
Right.
I remember years ago, I broke up with a sister because she was a black Republican. And when she told me, I was like, we're good. So, because my politics are that strong.
I already know.
Sorry, babe. So I think that, like, and he's not wrong. Well, I mean, I know where he's coming from. I'm gonna spin it a bit.
Right.
Did y'all know what this was before you got married? Because black folks, we hate the word therapy. We hate the word counseling. Like, did you know what this was?
Right.
So when I was getting married, man, we talked about that. We went through secular counseling and spiritual counseling, and I probably would argue we should have inverted it because we did a Christian marriage counselor first, and that did not work out the kinks. It was when we got in the room with a secular guy who wasn't caring about no Jesus or nothing. But will y'all be two happy individuals that we were able to work through it?
Right.
So we assume people know, but sometimes, man, you don't know that your girl want a threesome until you 3 months into the marriage.
Right.
And then she like, this is boring. Can I call my girlfriend? And you're like, wait, what?
Right. Right.
Or you don't know that your guy secretly want to have an open relationship because if you ain't done the work on the front end, and I think that's how I would approach it. Like, before y'all ran off and get married, man, I kept telling y'all to go get some therapy, talk about what you like, and it's okay. And I think that we have as black folk, especially in the church, we have this love-hate relationship with sex, right? We know it's real, we honor, but then we shameful. We don't have conversations. Like, I would love to see a men's ministry talk about what does it mean to be monogamous.
Seriously, and women.
I would love for women's ministry to talk about, hey, all you mothers of the church that's been married 50 years, have any of y'all ever had an orgasm?
Right.
And so
my thing would be even a little bit deeper than that. Have you stepped out? Because you're not even talking about those things as well.
Right.
You're not talking about the longevity of relationships and what they really go through, other than I fasted and I prayed.
Yeah, and the truth is,
like you forgave your husband that you've been married for 50 years.
Right.
You know,
but have you been happily married for 50 years?
Right.
Nobody's gonna be happily married. Nobody's gonna be happily married, man, happily all the time.
I'm not saying all the time. I'm saying this: if you've been married 50 years and 45 of them, you hope your spouse die, then I don't know if I want your advice. Right. If you've been married 30 years. But you cheated on your wife, 27 of them.
Right. Who's gonna have that?
But some of those things don't matter to the relationship as much. The infidelity, the children growing up may be more important than the infidelity of your partner.
Yeah.
It's more important things sometimes than just being cheated on.
Right.
I mean, it depends on who it is.
Yeah.
So, because some couples, cheating is I mean.
It's allowed.
Is
but as long as it's in the dark.
Yeah, it's not a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a deal breaker, but for some people, man, listen, that's a deal breaker.
Right. That is true.
But we don't have these honest conversations in the church. So, I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, in this day and age, y'all, at least for me, how I hear how you saying it, y'all ain't done the work.
Right.
Now you coming to me looking for biblical justification.
Right. That's what it is.
Am I allowed to do this? Shouldn't my wife be doing that? I have no idea.
Right.
Y'all need to go work that out. Yeah. Here's the number to my girl, Cress. She's a sex therapist in Chicago. Y'all go work that out. See y'all Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the truth, though.
Or work that out in your home, you know, because your home's supposed to be bonded too.
But if dysfunction is your function, then you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like at some point in time, somebody reading up on there, they saying stuff.
I'm trying to see anything we hear, especially in these times, even from pastors, especially the enemy attacks. That's a run-on sentence. I can't read that.
Anything we hear, especially in those times, even from the pastors, especially the enemy attacks them even harder than us. Oh, that's a long one. I feel we need to fact check God with God's word with ourselves. Basically, is what he said, and God's word is teaching you at all times. I get that.
I mean, even that, right? God's word. is full of rape and infidelity.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
Yes,
y'all
it is.
favorite King David was a rapist,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
How do you fact check that against? So when you tell me, you know, you need a relationship like David, I'm saying take somebody's wife. You threaten to kill another man for his.
That's the truth.
You know,
Yeah,
Abigail's husband. So I don't know. I think that we misapply where we should have faith in spirituality. It don't go in every context. Sometimes you need, like my T-shirt say, you need a therapist and Jesus.
Yeah.
And you need to. So I'm not going to. You know, I have spiritual elders, people I'm accountable to, and when I talk to them in my build up to marriage, we talked about the things that made a successful marriage, the honor, the integrity, you know, protecting your heart, watching your boundaries. But we didn't, like, they weren't my sexologists. And I think some of that stuff, like, I'd be crazy to talk to them about that. No, we got to, you know, go in another direction.
I understand that completely, Pastor. Yeah, so, you know, we were just explaining not explaining, but really having a little bit of dialogue with a few people online, telling them what is your appropriate boundary. So even in saying that, I can swing back around to this. Me and Andre had these conversations coming in on the way in, and a lot of them were based on the fact that, you know, sometimes women get so caught up in what they see physically right now, as you're saying as well, is that, you know, what's appropriate for me, you know. And then I think a lot of it, like we were talking about, who was your model relationship, right? That you saw or you grew up watching, that you felt like that emulation of a relationship was like a really good emulation of what a relationship. Now, Chad just like tried to bust my bubble, but I already know. And we were talking about Little House on the Prairie, right? I mean, I grew up watching Little House on the Prairie. Me and Rita were like, you know, this is what our normal was, you know, and we thought that those were like relationships, like staples of relationships, because we grew up in houses pure dysfunction, of course, you know, grew up in a mom-dad house. Even though that relationship, like we were talking about, never saw love. Never heard our parents ever say, you know, they love you. Never seen my dad buy my mom a gift. You know what I'm saying? So the staple of what a nuclear family looks like is like, that was what we leveled ourselves up into believing. Like, this is a great family, right? And who now... and talking to you, like, who was your staple? Who was like a family that you looked at, you gave praise to, you thought to yourself, you know, because you're in a marriage now. So you thought back then, or at least coming up along the range, like, I want a family unit, right?
Yeah, my mom and dad, I mean, they had their challenges, but they definitely loved each other. They were affectionate towards each other. I would probably argue a couple of folks on the block. Like, I grew up in a beautiful black bubble, so I saw mama and daddies. I saw beautiful single parents, men and women who raised their children, but I also saw my high school principal, the late Miss Helen Hawkins, and her husband, Mr. Hawkins, loved on each other hard. Even after, when I was going through trying to figure out if I would ever get married, I had friends who got married. My best man at my wedding, Dr. Jones, the way he loved on his wife, Keisha. So I think that, I mean, of course, you know, TV folks, I love James and Florida Evans to this day.
Right. I
even love
last night. Trilogy.
Even loved Bill and
Claire.
Yeah, Claire. So I mean, I think that we have those images. They just somewhere along the line that it got messed up.
Yeah, because I don't see when it did, because
Turn
me
that
and Mika grew up, our whole block, everybody had a mom and dad.
Right.
Our whole block, the whole block was parents. You know, for longevity, too,
Yeah.
40 some years.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I on my block I grew up with, like, all of them had spouses. Of course, you know, there were single moms, like I said, single dads, but even in how they loved their children and the community.
Right.
So I don't know. And I mean, I got some theories. There's a lot of theories of what happened to the nuclear family.
I have a lot of those too.
Yeah.
I would probably ask, did the nuclear family go away, or is it something that different than what we're used to?
Mm-hmm.
So the nuclear family is very much mom, dad, 2 kids,
Mm-hmm.
cat, dog, car in the garage. But nowadays it could be mom, dad, dad. And so I don't think that that's the end of the world either. In fact, I think that's equally beautiful.
Right.
So so is it that it's gone away, or is, and this is the struggle that we wrestle with against nostalgia and for this present age.
Right.
And so a lot of times we want it to look like it did in the 70s. But it's not going to ever look like that again. So what does it look like now?
Right. Right.
And then also, some of them very families on the block where it's mom and daddy, I mean, you could hear him thumping her from 2 doors down.
Right.
Beating her down.
Yeah.
We outside playing, we can hear it, right?
Yeah.
We knew about
Right.
so-and-so had a family on the other side of town.
That's
And so
true.
I think, that's my running joke, man. Like, how many folks we know, you thought he was an upstanding member of the community, but then at the back of his funeral was a woman with 3 kids who nobody would speak to.
Say anything.
And they all look like the other family.
But at the same time, he took care of them families. So,
And that's another conversation.
yeah.
That's another conversation because, every man.
So
I'm not saying every man.
So does the deeds of one man's sin take away from the strength that he gave to all of his kids?
You asking for it?
No, what I'm saying?
Oh, I think depends on what the sin is.
Right.
I think, that's that R. Kelly, Bill Cosby argument. Right? Does the fact that Bill Cosby gave all that money excuse him raping everybody? No, it don't. So I think it depends on the sins. I hear what you're saying. Like,
Well, not to that far point of that, not to a far point of that, but just like a regular dad, had 2 or 3 kids on the other side, but he still take care of his kids on the other side.
Yeah, that would be up to them kids.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we had that conversation though. I just, let me go over into that complete area of thought, is because we were talking about how most men are now I could have me 2 or 3 women, right? But I'm like, can you take care of 2, 3 women? And I'm not talking about take care of them in the bed. I'm not talking about you show up and you give them monies. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, spiritually, where the kids won't have a deficit as well. So, you got to be a regular paced person to be in that house on that, on tonight, put them children to bed and to sleep, then go around here down the street and up a hill to another house where you got 3 or 4 kids. You're not marrying all those aspects together, because a lot of people are putting this on the Bible principle, right? Or I see this man in the Bible, he had several wives and like the staple, but now you're putting that into a mentality of men, or some men that are out here who think I can do the exact same thing, knowing no, you can't. You cannot.
You cannot take care of all that.
Because that's a built up. You talking about it's easy to get Becky 1 and 2, and then dip and dive over here to 3 and 4, but you're not really supportive in the areas that you need, should, or could be.
I mean, I don't know a lot of dudes who want 2 and 3 wives. They want a bunch of girlfriends.
That's what
even at my age, the cats I'm running with now, man, we all it's time to settle down.
Mm-hmm.
This game is getting hard. It's getting expensive. Women crazy.
But that's what you signed up for in the beginning.
Especially if you're taking on 2 and 3 different. You know what I'm saying?
So that's definitely a younger cat conversation.
Right.
Because by the time I was 40, I knew it was all right, it's time to get ready to hang this up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's the truth of it right there, though. But a lot of people are still you dipping and diving, thinking that you can be slick and greasy. You cannot have this expectation for yourself and be an adult practicing in these principles. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because I feel like if you in that realm of area, and you're talking about holding a man accountable in one area. So if he does a bad deed in one area, is he a good in all the rest, right? I can't see that, because he could be great. He could be. But as far as like a moral thing of looking into that aspect, I don't see him holding the line. Like you're not holding the mark. So then it's like when you have other people looking up to you, some things will never get discovered. Never, right? But the principle of your morals and how you believe, don't you think you got a price to pay for that? You know?
And every relationship, and this is where I'm going back to defining these terms, what your relationship looks like may not be what your relationship looks like. And I think sometimes we try to put this one size fits all. So the truth is, there's somebody out there who is okay with they mate doing other things. They got open marriage. I don't think that's a breakdown of society. I just think that works for them.
Right.
It'll never fly in my house, but hey,
Right.
as long as they're happy, God bless you. There's some people who like.
Right,
so,
I understand that. I do understand that.
And then we also got to settle with not everybody want to be a wife, not everybody want to be a husband.
That's true. And everybody's not built to be a wife nor a husband. Let's go to that too.
But even beyond built, is before I get there, it's like I've met young sisters that's like, I don't want to do that. I watch my mama do it. I watch my grandmama do it. I want to be out here hot girl summer until I can't do it no more. And as long as it's sane, safe, and consensual, I don't know if I can be mad at that. Have at it, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what I'm choosing.
Right.
That's their morals. That's what they got to live with.
And I don't think that they bad people are going to hell. And
True.
Especially if they're responsible with
True.
it. And
True.
so there's some brothers who, you know, I'm honest, it's me. It took a move of God and the right woman to get me to settle down. Because I believe in my heart, I would never. That was a song I walked down to the aisle to, Jaheim. Never would have thought in a million years I would be here. And so, but I think that when we talk about relationships, especially when we try to put the Bible in it, one, the Bible is not a dating manual.
Yes.
It's not.
No, it's not.
So trying to use the Bible as a dating manual is an epic fail.
Yeah.
Two, are we romanticizing the stuff we saw growing up? So like, and I just used in my example, all of us saw beautiful black families on the surface, but I also remember seeing them cats at the lounge around the corner with their dips, right?
Yeah.
I also remember hearing one of them dads whoop the hell out of his wife consistently.
Wow,
you know?
yeah. You're telling the truth, though. Yeah.
You know, my own pop's irresponsible with money. So on the surface to the kids and stuff looking out, so are we looking at this thing through rose-colored glasses? So when we say, want the kids to have relationships like we had, and then smart Leah, because again, they got YouTube and they got Wikipedia. Like, but wasn't the domestic violence rate in the 1987, 97.5?
Right,
now
right.
Now you mad at it because she done called out the
Right. Seriously.
So
that's true, though. That is true. You know, I do agree with you on that aspect of thinking that they're going to even get the same level of what we've seen, because right now we're living in this world right now. It's high tech. Everything is a high tech series or whatever's going on out here, you know. So unfortunately, that's where we are. That is where we are. We got a lot of comments on this thing right here. I can't read them all. I'm sorry. But thanks, Chad. Thanks, Miss Posey. Brother Nance, you on with us today. Okay, but appreciate your time, Brother Reverend Terrence.
yeah, thank you.
Are you ready for your show to start?
I am. I think I'm ready. I mean, you ain't never really ready for that stuff. So we'll see where it goes.
Okay. You know, I know.
Sundays at 8 o'clock.
What is it?
It's the Urban Prophetic Sunday morning. See when he gonna do a commercial? Sunday morning at 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
We have once we're live, we will be the only progressive, faith-based, culturally relevant radio show in the area. So let's define that, right? We talked about defining terms, right?
Yes.
So faith-based is faith-centered. I'm a pastor of the oldest and blackest church in the county, Bethel AME Church, so it's faith-based. Culture.
Praise the Lord.
Listen, we talk about black folks. I know white folks listening love these and stuff, and I mean, appreciate y'all, but this ain't about y'all. Y'all ain't invited to this cookout. You can stand outside and smell it, but this is black cookout. Political. I'm political. I'm left of center. And what you would consider progressive, depending on my mood. And if people like Posey ain't getting on my nerves, I might even claim social.
Posey, don't let him do that.
So, and so we talking about things from that, that lens.
Okay.
So our first guest Sunday will be Urbana mayoral candidate Deshaun Williams. And we're gonna sit down and unpack it.
Look at Terrence. All right, Terrence. I see you. Terrence, Mr. Nance.
Can you say
But
the time again?
8 a.m.
8 a.m. So you got to be right up bright and early. Get yourself together. Get you a coffee. Sit down and be cited. You know, we are almost at a cap. I thought Miss Marilyn was going to creep on in here and through, but she did not.
She's out there doing artwork.
No, I wanted to honor my word to you. Like I said, work ran a little long and I kept bringing it up. And I said, let me come see my home girl.
You know, I appreciate you coming on through and being a man of your word. I appreciate that, Reverend. You know, but we're going to be ending the show in about 7 minutes here. Sharita, you want to get back on and give your last words and viewpoints and encouragement to the young ladies that are out here in the world right now? And do you want to serenade the microphone?
You would, wouldn't
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do you like that.
We will have to set that up, but I will.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, that would be
Say right now, you got music right
that.
Where's the music?
in your heart.
Oh.
My God.
What do you do?
The Lord said you got a song on your heart.
Like what? Like what are you saying to me? But you know what? I mean, it has been a good day today. I hope everybody's safe out there. I know the storm has came through.
Oh, yeah, it's bad out there.
Is it really?
It's getting there.
I'm finna get on the road to Bloomington. It's bad out there.
Oh yeah.
We're going,
Yeah.
we're going the other way. It's going to be
Yeah. So
It's gonna
I'm
be
really
long.
hopeful
Oh,
that
we're
everybody
going that
will
way, is it?
get out there and do your part for the community, as we keep constantly talking about. I love this platform because I can talk and bring in people from everywhere, and that we can have communication and have a little dialogue with one another. And you know what? People get on and watch you.
Yes.
And they want to know what your opinions are and what your views are. That's the most impactful thing. So make sure that you have something impactful to say
Absolutely.
that will change somebody's life that possibly could. You know, we're big brother and big sisters to a lot of people out here.
Yes.
You know, so make sure your impact is great for the community. I know we're winding down. We got about 5 more minutes, guys, and the show will be done for today. I'm hopeful that everybody will get out here and do their part. But Sharita, got any last words and where anybody can find you? Make sure you say your organization. Make sure you say the name. Make sure you say the email. Thank you.
So
Advertisement.
I am Sharita Johnson.
Where do people know you from, Sharita? Because you've worked all over Champaign County.
That's what they know me from.
Right.
Champaign County. So Pavilion,
Right.
Behavioral Health, See You at Home,
Yeah.
and now we stepped into our own organization called Friend in Me. Yes.
That's right,
Where we
Sharita.
help social services navigating those that are in need.
Mm-hmm.
We are inclusive to all.
Mm-hmm.
All are welcome.
That's right.
And we're here as friends.
That's right.
Right? Friends.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Most definitely we are. Sharita, we had a long history in this community, serving this community for years now.
absolutely.
So right now, our biggest impact, because we're on the radio and because we have this platform, it's our mission in helping people navigate this thing around here, especially job placement, job employment. Because Sharita, we had that conversation before,
Yes.
and I wish you was here for that one, but we can have that one next week perhaps. And that one was really delegating how we've been looked over,
Yeah.
where we haven't gotten the promotion.
That we so
and-
deserved
Yes.
and qualified for.
And yeah, we've had that.
Yes.
That conversation
Absolutely.
was a hitter. You hear me?
Yes.
That one was a hitter.
But you know what else we need to discuss?
What's that?
How we navigate that. How people take a disappointment or a letdown
Mm-hmm.
and turn into something positive
Mm-hmm.
to motivate themselves and others.
Yeah.
You know, cause
We need to talk about Black business ownership and the principle of behind, because this is who I am.
yeah,
You have to talk about Black business ownership and how do we push that narrative
yeah,
in order for people to get secure in their own and hire your own. You know?
absolutely.
So that's the only way that we're going to see any kind of movement. We talked about the election. We talked about the unfairness of the voting scale. Like I said, my suggestion was if you want to get Black people and white people to be on a fair playing field, you get 200,000 voters from white, 200,000 voters from Black, 200,000 from every other race that's out here right now. That would be fair. But if you're telling me that we're going to be able to elect our president, the president that we want on the population that we have of accountable voters that are out here right now, it's not going to happen. Especially when we're only 13 or 15% of the population is what they say. And that's like 43 million people. So if you're talking about 43 million people, less than half of those people can vote because they've got felonies or whatever their situation is, right? So how is that electing our president? It's not. It's not going to elect our president, Sharita. You know, we might get our big toe wet. That's about all we can wet in that pool.
So we need to speak about change. and
That's the
making
whole thing
Right?
right there.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah. Andre, got any last words for the public?
Everybody be safe on the road, on the way
Lord have
home.
mercy.
Lord's travels.
Yeah. Make sure
Yeah.
y'all. I hope y'all went out and got y'all vehicles checked. This
Yeah.
is that time of the year, everyone.
And everybody slow down. Don't go
Oh,
75.
Please do.
Oh my Lord. Reverend Terrence, you gonna end it?
What you want me to end it with? A song?
No. Say a biblical prayer
Oh, so yeah.
over us right quick.
Huh.
For the highways and byways.
I pray you all get home safe. I pray that you all have a wonderful evening, and I pray that you are going someplace warm and full of love. In the name of Jesus, or whomever you pray, amen.
Amen. Everybody, I thank you once again for tuning in, and this has been Afternoons with Delight. We have had a full crew in the house today. I appreciate everyone that was in the studio with me today. But like I said, everybody be blessed. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy one another. Make some changes. Do what you need to do for your people. And we are out of here. Bye-bye.